I think the entire first week, it was just a line to the door. So we had a 60-foot line. What happened was, we had friends and family in, but then word of mouth spread, and people just off the street were coming in. I had other people that I recognized from around town that I did not invite. They were bringing their whole crew in. The whole family was coming in. And so I was like, uh-oh, we got to shut this thing down right now. So we locked the doors and... Hi, welcome to the Coffee Snob podcast. Today, we are just sitting here on a Sunday because we're closed at King Coffee. We are, 2 weeks in? Not even 2 weeks in? Or 3 weeks in?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're a few weeks into opening, and it has been a complete blur. If you haven't noticed, it has been fast, furious. This is by far the highest paced location that we've opened. And we just wanted to talk about it a little today and bring you guys along. So thanks for tuning in. We got Sarah here. We have my wife, Chelsea. I'm Lance. And we just kind of wanted to talk about the opening, maybe the first week or two. What was your experience, Sarah? What do you got for us?
I don't know. It's kind of a whirlwind. Yeah. And it was good. It was just, I think when we opened Blackjack's, it was the same, but on the degree level, Blackjack's was here and this was
Yeah.
So my expectation of being up here all the time, or
as far as up here, as far as customer count, as far as
everything.
I think,
volume.
I think Blackjack's is a place where me or Sarah could probably hang out in an afternoon and probably work it, at least when we open, we could probably work by ourselves, almost. So it's people kind of trickling in, you can make their coffee, make their sandwich, have a conversation. It was just really chill. This place, I think the entire first week, it was just a line to the door. So we had a 60-foot line through the lobby, and it was
several times
nonstop. Not several times. I would say probably most of the time, at least up until 2 o'clock every day, from 6:30 to 2.
Well, and you can if you could catch up, it would have been good. But we were right when you get a breath, it was and more, which is great. But you're
yeah. Yeah, we were definitely treading water the first week.
Yeah. We'll worry about getting where we need to go later. We're just going to stay above water.
So kind of the way we did it is, so we got the menu planned out. We got the employees hired. We got them trained somewhat at another store. As trained as we could get them in 2 weeks?
1 week.
We had 1 week of training. So that's probably what a lot of our problem
Maybe
was.
we do something different next time.
So we had 1 week of training. We hit the ground running. So we opened on a Monday just as kind of a soft open.
Well, it was more word of mouth, right? It was just, we didn't tell anybody we were opening. We didn't tell Facebook we were opening.
It was like a friends and family. So we invited people in that we knew and said, hey, come check out the store. We're going to be open at this time. You guys come get something. So you just kind of slow and steady. And then as the day progressed on Monday, we got into lunch and everybody showed up. And we didn't really have we had the menu items picked out, but this menu is a little bit more complex than the other
it's just,
menus.
It's a good idea in theory. And that's all it is until you actually get in there.
And then logistically,
you didn't have it hashed out, your processes.
Right. Yeah, it actually hits you. So it's really important that you get a day where you have to make all these sandwiches, whatever your menu items are. We have everything from loaded avocados to flatbread to salads, and I mean, you name it. There's a lot of stuff on our menu.
You also have baked items, and so you have your scones and your cheesecakes and your muffins, and then even the things you don't make, like ice cream. But it's okay, we don't serve scooped ice cream at our other places, and so whose role is that to like step over to the ice cream case and like you'd be surprised how many people can't make a ball with an ice cream scooper. Like
Who knew there were so many ways to scoop?
Yeah, and really as a manager or an owner, you're looking at this like ice cream case, for example. This is a really good example of kind of what I dealt with in a million little different ways. But okay, it's an ice cream cone, right? Do we need to train every person on how to make an ice cream cone? Do we need to scoop out 12 ice cream cones so that every employee can be trained on how to scoop an ice cream cone? And it's like, no, I don't think so, you know? And do we even have time to go there? Not really. Let's focus on making coffee. And so, like, when it came time to do ice cream, it was like, I never did that before. So it's like, okay, I trained you really well on coffee, but we never got to the ice cream part of things. And so, yeah, just the more you bring in, the more training you're going to have to do, and the more resources you're going to have to take up in order to make that happen. But it's like that a million times over here because menu's bigger, the store's bigger, everything's bigger.
And you're just like, you're finding your own procedure of doing things, and then you have to train it. But you don't know your own way of doing it, and then you end up like, that's not the way to do it. I didn't know it wasn't, but it isn't.
Yeah, that's
and they're
not
like,
how we do
sorry,
things here.
figured out that it's not.
So on that first Monday of Friends and Family, we were going to be open the full day, and I think we made it till 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. And before the train went off the tracks,
I was in here, and he was like, Chelsea, go lock the door.
I was like, shut it down, because what happened was we had Friends and Family in, but then word of mouth spread, and people just off the street were coming in. I had other people that I recognized from around town that like I did not invite. They were bringing their whole crew in. The whole family was coming in. And so I was like, uh-oh, like we got to shut this thing down right now. So we locked the doors, and that was the time that I recognized, okay, these are the problems that we're having. These are like the bottlenecks that are happening. This is some of the confusion that we need to line out. Let's get all this down on paper. So we shut down that day. Everybody left, around 1 o'clock or so.
Something like
cleaned up, but you guys stayed.
And then me and Sarah stayed. And then we just hashed out, okay, details on how to make everything. And this is going to be like one thing, like it's kind of like the ice cream thing, like details on how to do this thing, whatever it is. And so we went through everything on the menu, and as I was making it, I was just telling Sarah, like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, this is how, how many slices of cheese are going to go on this, and how many minutes through the oven, and whatever.
And Sarah, as Lance narrated, Sarah made a chart. She color coded it, and then she turned it into me. And then I put it on the computer, and it's all nice. And
so we have one sheet.
And I laminated it because I'm a homeschool mom.
And yeah, it's beautiful. So now, if we have any questions on anything, we just say how many pieces of turkey go on a jalapeno turkey popper sandwich. We look at the thing, and we put them on there, and voila, we got meat.
But you needed that day.
Yeah. You need the crash course day. Like,
we were a little ambitious, but people kept saying like, well, how's it going? How's it? And I said, well, it's all new. I mean, Lance and Sarah are like expert baristas. They can make food. They are great at customer service. But the layout of this place is brand new to them. The equipment, some of the equipment is different. It's a different brand than we use. It's different setup. So the equipment was brand new. And then the other 80-90% of our staff is so green. They're so new. And so it was just like
they were infants.
Little babies, and
we were like, run, and they're like, I can't run.
But it's
sorry.
But I just think that it was just like, it was all new, and that's why it was hard. But then also I think I've said this before. I feel like we grossly underestimated the hype.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not. When that line was to the door on 4th of July, I'm here with
And
my
the
kids.
next day, and the next day,
Right.
and the next
But
day.
it's the first day. You know,
I think
I'm
I
here with my
expected the
kids.
4th of July because we had the parade.
Yeah.
But then
But I'm here with the kids, like watching the parade, and I just feel sick to my stomach because I know the stress, and I just was like, oh my gosh, you know. And people are like, oh, the lights to the door, it's so good, aren't you so good? I'm like, no. It's so
And we were moving.
scary.
We were moving people too. Like I was on bar,
My friends came in,
and we were spitting
and
drinks
in
out
10 minutes,
fast.
they were out with. They didn't get food, but they were out with their drinks.
That's
And my kids, it was less than 20 minutes, starting at the back of the line, to get food and drinks for like 6 of us. So, yeah, you guys were.
Yeah, we were.
The
spitting
line
people out. It
was
just
long,
more
but
people than we could do.
everybody was getting served. The volume you guys were doing was really high.
But it was also working with people who were brand new. So 1 week into being a barista, you're thrown in a brand new location.
You're making
And then
20 drinks.
you're supposed to do things that you were just taught, and you're supposed to be making like a drink every 30 seconds kind of thing.
Yeah.
And goodness gracious, like it was just, I can't tell you how many drinks I dumped out. I was just like,
No.
that doesn't have enough ice in it. Shh. Give me another one. You know, that shot, went too long. Shh. Give me another one. Your milk's too grainy. Shh. Give me another one. It's just like
our poor employees, they've kept their spirits up, but
They're
I
like,
would have
"Is
just been
this-
like, nothing's good enough.
Yeah.
Walking away.
Is this what it's like to be a snob? Are
Yep.
you miserable all
you
the time?
can make a perfect drink. That's all I'm asking you to do is
It's
just
just
make
perfect.
a perfect drink. Do
Come on.
something perfect.
Perfection. That's all we're asking.
That's all we're asking.
As a
So,
baby.
so yeah, I didn't know
baby
that type of, I guess, snob was in me until like, cause at Lincolnville at Blackjack's, it's smaller town, it's smaller paced. And so like you have time to coach people, you have time, like on one drink, you can coach through the whole thing.
I feel like people are also not. Stevie Mill's been great, but I feel like in Lingleville, everybody's just real patient.
Yeah,
Just
and
real-
everybody's super cool if it takes a little longer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here
if they're
it's
coming
just-
into Lingleville, they weren't in a hurry. That's why they came.
Yeah,
they
that's
came
why they
all the
showed
way
up
out
in
to
the
the
first
middle
place.
of nowhere, and they're not in a hurry. And so, but it's not been like that here.
So you've got pressure here from the customer as well. And then, I realized that I can't let a drink out if it's not like the quality that I would do. And so all of a sudden I'm like,
Just let me make that.
I can't tell you. No, really. Like, I can't tell you how many times I just looked at a brand new employee and just said, get out. Get out. And just pushed them out of the way and just made all the drinks. And really, like, there were times where we had to do that during those, like,
Oh, yeah.
10, 11-hour days that we were doing.
That's when I started giving Lance ashwagandha for his adrenals. I was like, babe, you're like,
But-
it's stressful.
But now I sit back, we were 3 weeks in. No, something like that. So we're a few weeks in now, and now I can sit in the lobby, while I'm, working on an order or inventory or something. And like, I see the customers going up and them engaging the customer and them getting their drink and them like making the drink without them being like, let's, or whatever, and they're doing it, and I know that they can make a good drink. And so I'm like, it really is encouraging to see like the process. But we did open kind of in a hurry. We did push it a little faster than we probably should have. We probably could have took another week or even 2 weeks to train. But we really were pushing for the 4th of July, like grand opening, where we were like kicking our doors open. And we did it, but we just did it with like super green. Actually, just me and you pretty much did it. That's all
Yeah.
the rest of the people were like, oh.
And that's our fault.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's us.
there was
That was
a
us.
day that Lance came home in that first week, and he would work like 15 hours, and then he'd crawl in bed, and he just puts the covers over, and he's just staring at the ceiling. And he said, you know, when we opened that new Starbucks store, they sent a whole team of partners to help us.
Yeah.
And he was like, why didn't I do that? Like,
So that's one thing. That's one thing, you know, because I was on an opening crew of a store when I first started with Starbucks, and that's what they did. They brought in employees from all over the place. 2 from this store, and 2 from that store, and 2 from that store, and 2 from that store, to make an entire staff for us of people to train us and people to work alongside us the entire time. So we basically all had somebody standing over our shoulder the whole time going, and then do this, and then do this, you know? Whereas, like, that was me and you here, and we didn't have time to show anybody anything.
right.
Yeah.
Just because we decided to open on the day of a parade on our doorstep.
It was a good day.
We made it
Yeah.
through. We made it through.
It was a good day.
It was good.
Yeah.
But I just, like, yeah, if we were going to do it again, which, let's not. But if we were going to,
Let's not.
I think that would be one of the things that we'd do differently. We'd have more training, and then we'd have people from our other stores take shifts and walk alongside and teach alongside and work, because, you know, that milk's not perfect. Like, it's not their fault. It's not supposed to
Yeah,
be
they
perfect.
just-
They're
yeah.
so new. They worked so hard, and they are getting it. They've literally, everybody that has come on is so great, and we were just like, swim. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't know
swim.
if you've had swim lessons. but
Swim or die.
So, and they've just been so gracious, and even when he's like, so I snapped at so and so today, you know, and I'm like, Lance, did you take your vitamins? You know, and he's like, I just, before I left, I told them they did a really good job.
Yeah.
And so
I think even
I'm just like, they're so patient with you too.
yeah, they're patient with me too. And you know, I think, you know, there's a few times I snapped at some of the younger guys that are here, you know, just because they're 15. You know what I mean? Like, it's not their fault. They're just 15. They just don't know yet. So I'm like, you know, I turn around, and one person is buried in orders and trying to ring up a customer at the same time. I'm up to my neck in food orders, and we got a kid like standing there with his hands in his pockets, just. And I turn around, and he's like, "You enjoying the show?" You know?
Aw. He's
Get
like,
over there, ring him up. You know?
they're probably like, I tried and I got yelled at. So.
Yeah. Just don't yell at me anymore. No, I wasn't that bad all the time. But there were a few times where I was just like,
Yeah, I did yell at someone. Well, I don't really,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, listen,
yeah.
we've got to do this. And then I'm like thinking back, I'm like, I got interrupted a lot. Do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
There was one time I was like talking at somebody like that, and I was like, and then I just stopped and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna chill out.
I'm going to chill
I'm
out.
just really stressed out right now."
I've had a lot of shots of espresso.
Like, there's like, it's okay, man. I get it. You know?
They've been so gracious.
Yeah.
And they're doing so good.
They
I
are.
came yesterday? Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday.
And it was great. Like, my kids all ordered ice cream, and they're just so sweet and personable, and watching them work with the people in front of me and introducing themselves and like, how's your day? And just like, wow. Like the growth in
like all the
2.5
things,
weeks.
all the things that we're teaching them, they're getting.
Yeah.
Like, and even like the deep things, like not just like put the customer first, but like see the customer in front of you, like make a friend, and they're doing it.
Yeah, they are.
It's really cool to see.
So like, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, we were talking the other day, and just like, even if they don't get the coffee quite yet, like they're getting the customer service, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like especially the young kids, they'll be back there, and I'll see somebody walking in, and they'll be like, "Hey, so and so," and they'll talk to them, and they're learning names, and like that's the most important.
It really is cool to see. That's the most encouraging part to me, because everything kind of flows from that. If you have a passion for customers, like, you're gonna make good coffee. You're gonna try to make a really, really good sandwich because it's about the customer, and that's kind of what I wanted to focus down on.
So, any other hiccups that you want to?
Oh gosh,
confess
yeah. Let's pull from the list. How about customer flow? That's a big one. Like, how did the customers actually walk through your lobby and approach your counter? Yeah, that's huge when you've got 75 people walking in the door. Like, is there a flow to it? Do they try to, like, are they coming in from two different directions and everybody's like piling in? And so I think when there's a lot of people in here, we do get a pretty good flow of people that stand in a line. It worked out really well.
Do we need to like paint a path on the floor?
Yeah, put dotted lines.
Just arrows.
We can paint breadcrumbs all the way to the
or coffee beans.
But yeah, that was actually one that we kind of worked with, moving the furniture around and rearranging it a little bit. How much stuff do we need to order?
Can you go to this?
Like I said,
shout out to
grossly underestimated.
Shout out to Julie, Lance's mom.
Oh my God!
I'm like, Julie, can you go back to Walmart? Julie, can you go back to Walmart? Julie, can you go back to H-E-B? Like,
yeah.
It's so at Blackjack's I'll get maybe 30 lemons,
right?
Yeah.
A week, and then here I got 100 for half a week.
Yeah, we got 100,
and that's on everything.
We're like, we got to go get some more.
No,
like bourbon butter. Yeah.
So Lance's mom works at Lingleville, and she called me the other day, and she was like, "Girl, Lance brought in Lingleville a huge box of lemons." It's just like, where are we gonna? Why did you bring us like 150 lemons?
So I'm going back and forth to the stores, right?
Well,
so
he's still getting some groceries for Lingleville.
We'll get like 60 lemons for Lingleville or something a week. That was what we were getting when I left. And I had to go back and do orders after
being here
2 months, and then being here for 3 weeks, and just like, you just grab everything they have,
For H-E-B.
And so I'm going to Lingleville, and I've got my list, and it says, get 50 lemons or whatever, and I'm like,
that's not going to be
there's
enough.
this alarm going off in the back of my head, like, that's not going to be enough. You're just going to have to come back, So I'm like, but yeah, it's everything's on a whole new scale here. Everything, and we kind of expected it, so we did order a lot, especially for that first week, because there's like a big influx of people when you first open, because everybody's interested, everybody wants to check it out.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to find like, okay, this is how much we're actually going to go through. We're actually going to need about 200 lemons a week. We're going to need, however many loaves of sourdough we go through a week. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So there's that part, like how much to order, just logistics. And then there's like register, like setting up the register. Like, we went through and had to put it, you got to go through every item. You have to see how it flows when you're ringing stuff up. Like, you can't be shifting through menus. You can't. There's so many little details on the items. Gosh, the first 2 weeks we were just like trying to fix things on the menu constantly on the register.
Because the menu prints a ticket,
right,
and that needs to have every detail, because the person making the sandwich is not dealing with the actual customer who's ordering it, so they need all the information.
Yeah. They need
getting a name.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's a whole other thing. So logistically, you would think that if we could get the customer rang up, that we could get the person making the sandwiches or the drinks to make the sandwich or drink and then hand it out and just say that person's name, that everything would be okay. Like, that's where you want it to end. That's good. We did a good job. Let's celebrate. No. Because what happens is they don't hear the name. They just hear sandwich, and then the person who was
And they're
behind
really
them,
hungry.
2-3 deep in line, go up, they grab the sandwich instead and the drink. They go sit down and enjoy the sandwich and drink.
Or they're like, this isn't what I ordered.
Yeah, or they eat half of it and bring it back and say, I didn't order a Reuben sandwich, I ordered a club sandwich. And then you've got customer A over here who's like, I ordered a Reuben and I'm still waiting on it.
That was a
And you're
tough
like,
day.
oh. So once
was
that
a
happens
tough
like
day.
6, 7, 8 times in a lunch rush, you realize, okay, this is something that we need to do different. That was a frustrating day right there.
But it was good that like yeah.
yeah,
Problem, solution.
Problem solving.
Yeah, but just now we just call out the name and then you get to know their name better. Not like
yeah,
the sandwich and
yeah.
so. But now it's like, oh,
So now instead of handing things off on the bar for people to pick them up, nothing goes out. We set it
we're like,
there.
what's the password?
What's your
Yeah.
name?
We
How do you
say
spell it?
whatever your name is, and then they come up and say, did y'all say Linda or whatever? And then we say, did you have a sourdough, whatever sandwich and this? And they say, yes, that's mine.
Yeah.
And then we give it to them. And I can't tell you how many customers we have saved by doing that, because a lot of times people will come up and they're like, oh, no, that's not what I ordered. And you're like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing we did that. So I think that's been one of the best things that we've implemented, because, gosh, that first week things were coming undone because everybody was taking everybody's stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was fun.
So stressful.
Yeah.
You poor things.
So it's just figuring out details like that. That's kind of how the first week has been.
It's like there's holes in the boat, but you don't know until you put it in the water
You have no idea
where
what
those
they are,
holes
where
are.
they are. Yeah.
And you have to yank it back out of the water and fix them and then throw it back in.
And then there's more holes in the boat.
Sometimes you're like patching it on the water.
Right.
Water's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all your hiccups. Anything else?
Oh,
The
gosh,
brewer
I know.
broke.
Do what?
So the brewer broke.
Oh,
yeah.
equipment breaking. Yeah. So
It's
we
exciting.
don't have our main bulk grinder still isn't in. I finally called the guy and I was like, I need a loaner in the meantime because I have to have a grinder. Like, I just brought one from the house and it was just like trying to keep up,
I mean, it's pretty snobby anyway.
But I wanted a Malconic EK43, so he brought me one of those. And I'm telling you, like, you can run 200 grams of coffee through that thing and it's done in like 1.5 seconds. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's done. It's beautiful. So we're we're still waiting on our grinder. The brewer went down like 2-3 days in, just bit the dust. So I finally had a guy come out and fix it. Gosh, it took 2 weeks to get him out here, but we finally got him out.
It's fixed.
Yeah, it works. So
Do you get a lot? I mean, of orders for
we
drip
made a
coffee?
lot of pour overs.
I think I need like a massage therapist for the shoulder. Like
Because from the pour over. So,
Fine.
but
I had two at one time. I
But
was like,
now that they know you have like drip coffee that's fresh, do you find that they're ordering it?
Well-
or people still like, no, I want to pour
we
over.
have a lot of coffee snobs.
I think they're trying to get pour overs
Yeah.
because we've been working on them for 2
You
weeks.
did this to yourself.
Yeah,
We did.
which I'm happy for because now they're like, for the brewer, we're just doing like a blend, like the regular like kind of
It's so
milk
good.
chocolate
It's
graham
just not-
cracker sourdough flavor note kind of deal. The pour overs are where like the magic coffee is, so it's like the mango, orange blossom, strawberry.
Is it coffee orange juice? I don't know.
It's amazing. It's what it is. It's just
So-
amazing. So yeah, and it's given our people a good chance to make a lot of pour overs. I think that's a real shortcoming in a lot of shops because they don't make pour overs very often because they're constantly getting stuff out of the drip. And so when they do get a pour over, the barista doesn't realize that, hey, this needs to be over in 3.5 minutes, you know, or like all the little fine details of what it takes to actually make a good pour over. They kind of, you know, gloss over in training. And then, so actually having that time where our people had to constantly make pour overs all morning, it actually, I think it worked to our advantage in the long run because our people know it now. So that's good.
So, I guess, like, in closing, would you do it all again? Or are you guys, like, done?
You know, it's not over yet. So,
Okay. Yeah.
it's a little too soon for
Sorry,
that.
too
I
soon.
think, so what's some things that we would change?
It just felt. I mean, I think we were going to open in May. That was like, you know, and so
That's laughable. Okay, yeah.
which I expected. I was like, no, that's probably not gonna. That's really soon. And then it was July, and it still felt a little hurried.
Right.
And so I think I think we should have opened on 4th of July. Like, I think that's. But if I had, you know, ideally, I would just like pull it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the
So we were like-
problems is that's not really fair. Like, some of it is our fault because we brought in everybody green and then couldn't get a lot of training. But another problem is that we were waiting on plumbers and electricians,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
couldn't even get in here to work.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that was like, that really was the delay. It wasn't that we weren't willing to get.
No.
If we could have been in here training, we
Yeah.
would have been
If
training
we would've
and
had
paying people for a month.
plumbing, electric done, we could have been training
But
for months
that
in here.
was,
Yeah.
While they were building it out and while they were working on it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Instead, it was the opposite. Everything got done, and then
All of this got done
plumbing, electric was last.
because that was up to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the things that we were waiting on these special, like, technicians for, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah, that was really frustrating.
So-
And I think that's
But it
probably
would
what a
just-
lot of our problem was.
Yeah.
So we'd
Just
have
having
more training.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having more people. I think
More
it's better.
staff.
It's better to start out with too many people because you're going to get that big influx of customers, and then at the same time, like, you're going to find out who's really good and who was lying to you in the interview. And so then you know how to move those people around on the schedule, get them with stronger people, or get them less hours, get this person more hours. You know, this is who actually needs to be a supervisor, and this is the people who are kind of like, you know, not quite there yet.
Or just getting them in the right position. Like,
Right.
hey, you're great on register. Hey, you're great on.
Yeah. Because everybody's gonna really blossom in a different place, and so yeah, I just think, you know, having more people would have really prepared us, and I think having maybe one or two more like really experienced baristas come in full time would have kept us from doing like 70-hour weeks.
Yeah. Or just, not just baristas, but like supervisors.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Which we kind of had some help with on the baking. We kind of had some help on like
Not
groceries.
kind of. We had a lot of help.
You know, my mom from Lingleville, Julie came in.
Haley,
Help
my
Haley,
Yes.
Brianna. We had people coming in helping us from the other stores, but we really needed those people on the floor, especially when we weren't here.
Poor Julie. She's like trying to bake, and we're like, can you wash more dishes? And she's like,
Plates, we need plates.
Yeah.
but
Serious.
So yeah, more of everything. Yeah, I think this with this being like a much bigger location, much bigger town, and this is the summertime. Like, how many students are in Tarleton right now? 20, 30,000 students
No, I
or
think
something.
it's 15.
So
Still, a lot of people.
I mean, I'm
Almost
excited.
doubles the population.
So yeah, they're coming mid-August, and so we're getting
Yeah.
ramped up for them.
Which I'm glad, though. I'm glad that we didn't wait
Yeah.
till August to open because our people have their own schools and semester schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like they've had summer to really just like be here, work their 40 hours, and they're getting a lot of experience because we opened in July. I couldn't imagine if we had even trained them, waited till August, and then they're dealing with the real life customers and it's summer schedule. And then in like a week or 2 weeks, then suddenly we have the influx of the college.
Yeah.
I think it's been good. There's things I think we do differently. But I feel like it was such a blessing the week we opened, and it was a great way to like showcase our store. There were so many people here that just saw that we were open because they were physically here on the square.
Yeah.
And so it's been good.
It
I
worked
was
out
so
good.
proud of you guys. You guys have worked so hard. I know you're tired. Just a couple more weeks.
Yeah. And like I said, it's nice sitting back and like seeing the floor, you know, the back of house operate like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well,
even
without me on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. they're
Just
getting it.
like not dreading the lunch rush, you know? It's like, oh,
We can handle
guys,
this.
this was so smooth.
Yeah, it's
Like,
so cool
getting
sitting
there.
in these chairs. Usually,
Instead of like staring at them longing,
like,
Like, that looks so soft.
I wonder what it's like to sit over there.
or just to sit.
Or just to sit. Yeah, or just to sit at all.
Yeah.
Sit at all.
So yeah, it's been a lot of hard work, and I'll just say, like, you know, if you're going like, if it's a bigger city, downtown, you know, get some good help. You know, if you're looking at doing that.
Overestimate.
Yeah,
Overestimate.
overestimate on everything. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
it's been a good few weeks, and we are looking forward to the future because it's just uphill from here.
I think so.
Yeah,
Wait, downhill, uphill? Is that where we're
uphill. We're going to the top.
Oh,
Going to the top.
good.
Downhill. Sure, whatever. Okay. Thanks for checking out the podcast. We'll see you guys next time.